Everybody, how you doing? Just want everybody to see my wife. She's standing over here. She's hiding. All right, let me try it again. Okay, so what we talked about last night at Views, we started a series of Philippians, and it's Philippians 1, 12 through 26, I believe, and we kind of talked about a lot of stuff, but mainly why Paul is in prison, and in that day Rome was in charge, and so they had these sayings and these different things that they would do that went along the lines of saying Caesar is Lord. It was a common greeting because Caesar was the emperor, and so they would walk around and say Caesar is Lord. And as well as a few other things and they thought Caesar was going to bring about this reign of peace and this reign of unity. And so this guy, Paul, comes in and starts saying those things about Jesus, the Messiah, and that wasn't really good or acceptable in that time. And so it obviously got him landed in prison. But we kind of talked about, okay, he was in prison and how did he handle that? And the first part of the letter wasn't a whole lot about complaining about the conditions or complaining about his situation, but more about who Jesus was and what Jesus was about. And so we kind of talked about how... and in that first part of the letter, he talks about how the gospel is advancing quicker and faster and stronger because of him being in prison. And so we talked a little bit about why that might be. And then also talked about how God uses our pain and our hurt and our struggle. This was the main point, to advance the gospel. And that when we're going through hard times, people look at us and they see how we react. And that's what really sets us apart as Christians. It's easy when life is good to say I'm a Christian, but it's a whole different story in the midst of the struggle and the pain and the suffering to still say that God is good, to still say that and to still live the life that He's called us to live. And so this was the main thrust is how in the midst of our pain and suffering, that God uses that, and then God shows the world a God who journeys with us and is with us all the time. I talked about Snowy a little bit and what happened at the hospital, and how literally people saw the church respond with love and compassion towards a family, and it literally changed the way people viewed who Jesus was. And it may not have been a long-term thing, but seeds were planted about a God who journeys with us and is in the midst, because the situation didn't change. You know, I'm sad to say, and I think we all are, that Snowy didn't get better. But in the midst of what we were going through, and in the midst of journeying with Marco and Guadalupe, people saw, and the gospel, I think, was preached by how we responded and what was lived. And so in the midst of that, the gospel was lived. And the reason I told the story is because a couple nights ago I had to go back to the hospital to visit another kid who had head trauma, and it was that room right next to Snowy's and in the same waiting room. And it was just a weird situation for me, and it just took me back and remembering what it was like. And so I shared that and just talked about how the gospel was shared. I talked a little bit about my own story and Caleb, and how people that I have no idea even who they are, talking about my blog and journeying through with us through that, and seeing the faithfulness and how I was able to reach and speak to more people in that time than ever before, and potentially ever again. And so we just talked about what does it look like for us to pray the prayer instead of praying, God, take this away or get me out of here, God, and pray the prayer, God, help me in the midst of whatever I'm going through, to have the grace and the strength to continually be who you called me to be, to continually be the person that you want me to be, that you created me to be, no matter what the circumstance. And so that was kind of it. We prayed this prayer. I sent it to you. I think I sent it to you. If I didn't, I will, but it'll be on this prayer about that God, or that I found in this liturgy, and it was really good, so it might be good to hit on that again and to come back to that. And we actually closed the fuse by saying that together, and closed out our time about just really telling God, whatever you want to do in my life and whatever comes my way, Lord, I just want to make sure that I'm being used for you, and no matter what the circumstance. And so you may want to hit on that again, because we definitely recited that and said that together to close out the fuse Wednesday night. So that was Wednesday night. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of students there, like over 50, which is really cool. And so we were super excited about that. Sunday we will be getting together for our first small group leader meeting of the year. Sunday after the 10:30 in Sacred Space. And I need to know who's coming, so I'll make sure I have enough lunches there, and we can. That would be great. Family is invited, and what we'll do is we're just going to get those Subway box lunches, and they're $4 a piece. And so if you can bring money to help donate towards that, that'd be awesome. And once again, let me know if family members are coming, if they want to stay and eat as well. Our meeting will be about an hour, no more, and we're just going to kind of talk about the year. So if you can be there, it'd be awesome, and I think it'll help us all get on the same page and be ready for what is coming. If you have any questions, just respond on this, and we'll just start conversation and kind of go from there. Thanks again, and we will see you Sunday for small groups and for the meeting. Talk to you later. Bye.